Loudest mixed tag team in podcasting where the kayfabe drops and the chaos takes over. Let's ring the damn bell.
Headlocks tight, heels on the prowl, dropping elbows, hearing growl, feel the foul. No script here, just real, no bluff. Kayfabe crack, now the dirt gets rough. Headlocks, heels, havoc in the zone. Step in the ring, chaos at your home. No filters, no mask, just raw bare tone. Wrestling unscripted, we on the throne. Title bells, mic checks, crowd going crazy. Drop truth bombs, leaving lines feeling hazy. Beyond the kayfabe, past the charade, where legends are born and stories get made. Headlocks popping, who's hitting the mat? Welcome to the Havoc where the real talk's at. Tune in, step through, leave the fake at the door. Headlocks, heels, Havoc, now hear the roar.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am one half of the greatest tag team in podcasting, the legend J-Mac. With me, as always, is everybody's favorite uncle and the man that's always ready for a quick hot tag, Uncle Slam.
What's up?
And this Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have got a special guest with us tonight. He is a former and soon, hopefully, knock on wood, going to be back doing his thing the only way he knows how to do, John Conway.
Thank you. It's nice to be in here. Thanks for having
me. Yes, sir. I'm glad to have you on, man. I mean, like I said, we all about wrestling on this show. We love to have everybody from the announcers to... I'll put ring people on here. You set up the ring. I'll let you teach me how to do it on the podcast. I don't care. I want to know about wrestling.
Yeah, we want to do everything.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, before we get too deep into it and everything, don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe and everything. Leave some comments. If you got anything you want to ask Conway as we're going through the show, be sure to leave your comments on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We will get to them as soon as we can. And like I said, we're just going to get into it and have a conversation and talk about some wrestling from a referee's point of view.
Sounds good.
So, John, man, what you been into, buddy? I ain't seen you forever, for one thing.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like I said, don't want to get into it too much of it or whatever, but I kind of hit my wife of 20 years left me or whatever, and I kind of went in a downward spiral and done some things that I shouldn't do, but got addicted on some drugs and been in rehab and stuff and whatever, and got back on my feet. I just celebrated 6 months clean the other day, Wednesday, I believe it was. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But yeah, drugs, it's not a good thing, man. I mean, everybody experiments with them every now and then or whatever. But like I said, it took me actually, my wife leaving me, and I wound up being homeless. Was on the streets panhandling, waiting for Little Caesars to close, get their leftover pizza, all that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hit rock bottom and realized rock bottom had a basement. And not trying to get religious or whatever, but I say yes in a lot of NA meetings, a lot of whatever. I said, I'm glad the God of my understanding allowed me to hit rock bottom so I could realize he's the rock at the bottom. And it's totally changed my life around, man, going to these meetings and listen to other addicts share their experience and everything. And it's just, I'm working the steps. I'm on step 2. I got a sponsor, I'm doing everything. I got a job now. So it's the first time in a long time I actually had a paycheck and didn't spend none of it on, things that I shouldn't. I actually got paid to get my license to be reinstated so I can get my driver's license back. So I'm just trying to go on the next step, and then I'm going to try to get back in. I got to have a sports physical and get back in the ring again. And something I love doing. I'm born and raised on wrestling. I was in it for 13 years. I think my last match was 2016, 2018, somewhere around in there. But I was working for a company called United States Wrestling Federation out of McKinney. And they done all the fair shows here in Kentucky. And, that was the last run I had in wrestling. And like I said, I just lost myself and did some things that I shouldn't have done. But I'm back on track now and doing what I need to be doing to get back on my feet and do the right thing.
And doing it the only way you know how, and that's what?
The Conway.
That's
There's
right.
the wrong way, the right way, and the Conway.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, I like that. I like that.
Man, I am so glad to see you doing good and getting back on your feet, man. Because that's we talk about it all the time on wrestle or on this show that wrestling is such an amazing thing because it brings so many different diverse people who would probably never even step foot into a room with each other into a room, and it opens up conversation. So I mean, I'm glad to see that you're getting back into it. Glad to see that wrestling is going to help you get back to where you need to be. So congratulations again, buddy, man. I'm really happy for you.
Oh yeah.
Well, before we get too deep into
thank
it,
you so much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All the praise in the world, man. It takes a lot, and I really like that saying, man. The whole rock bottom thing and everything. I like that. To see that he was the foundation. I like that. But just to give our fans a little hint of your resume here, I got some pictures that you sent me. I'm gonna show if that's all right with you, of some of the superstars you've worked with. So on screen now,
there's so many I can't even name them.
Right. Well, here we've got John, and as everybody will recognize, Nick Dinsmore, or better yet, Eugene.
Yep.
Eugene. And then
that's a funny character right there.
Yeah, I'm dude. I would. You're gonna have to get into some stories here because I can only imagine working a match with Eugene and trying to keep up with it because people don't realize he was a really good wrestler.
Yes, he was. And like I said,
he still is probably.
Oh yeah. And it's like my job is like the search to make sure they ain't got no weapons on him or whatever. And he's sitting there, he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, I got to search you, make sure you ain't got nothing illegal on you. Then he turns around and pushes me in the corner and starts patting me down like I've got weapons or something. Yeah, he's definitely he's hilarious.
That is absolutely saying that's something you just can't buy, man. You get to experience that.
Exactly.
All righty. And then we've got Rob Conway of La Resistance with John Conway.
We do it the only way we know how.
That's right. This was when he was working up in Louisville, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Ohio Valley Wrestling.
That's what I thought. So did you work, how did you work a lot of shows or any shows for OVW?
No, I've worked with about 90% of their roster that's currently on there now. Like the, Ravishing Rayoni Roberts was his name when I worked with him, but the Triple R superstar, he goes by Reverend Ronald, Reverend something now, I think, or whatever. He's a young black guy or whatever. Okay. He's really good. He started, when I started out, when he started out, he was a security guard. And now seeing him on OVW, just, I mean, he's come a long way. He's a really good talent, independent talent. He's really good. And to see him on OVW, it's just amazing, If I wouldn't have hit my downward spiral, I'd probably be one of the refs there or whatever. Because our female ref, Charlene or whatever, I've worked a couple shows with her. She's really good too. But
well, just like they say in the wrestling world, never say never, man.
Exactly.
That's it. You'll be there one day, man.
Oh yeah. All
right, let's see who else we got. I know. Well, if you don't know, all you younger people, this right here is a superstar, Bill Dundee, one of the best ever. You probably, I can't remember what was the name of his character when he was William Regal's or Steven Regal's manager.
Oh God, you got me there.
I cannot think of his name to save
my life. It's at the tip of my tongue too. Yeah, it's at the tip of my tongue too.
Because he came out with the tuxedo and the little bowler hat and everything. Yep. I cannot remember what it was. And I didn't even realize at the time that was Superstar Dundee.
I didn't either. Because, I mean, I'm not used to him looking that way. But when I seen him, that was a Harrisburg show. We done like a Pioneer Days in Harrisburg. Okay. And he was one of the talents that, trying to think of the company I was working for at that time. I think it was Wildcat Championship Wrestling, WCCW out of Lawrenceburg.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you've been all over the place, buddy. Then you got PG-13. I'm sure a lot of people know him.
Wolfie D.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story about that before we go. It was we was in the locker room, right? I know I'm not supposed to tell some stuff like this, but I guess
tell it all, man.
Him and one of the other wrestlers or whatever, I guess their kids date each other or something. One's daughter dates the other one's son. And you talking about, I mean, in the locker room, them two were about ready to literally throw down, right? Well, I got to ref this match with these two guys. And I'm like, I'm scared to death. I'm like, so the ring dude on the outside or whatever, he's like, if they really get into it, just give me a sign or whatever, and I'll send somebody out and help. I said, if these two really get into a fight, I'm gone. I ain't trying to stand in between them two. I said, them two big old boys, I am not standing in the middle of that. I'm just gonna jump out the ring and whatever happens, happens. But they got in the ring and they were professional. But once they got back in the back, it was on. But they got in the ring and I give them.
So I was gonna say you all had your own personal Brett and Sean situation going on.
Oh yeah. Facts.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Who else we got here? That's Brian Christopher, right? Jerry Lawler's son?
Yep, yes, right before that incident happened with him in the jail or whatever happened or whatever. That was actually for it was a show in Marion, Bardstown, I believe. We done that show for Officer Jason Ellis. That got somebody pulled out all that debris on the highway and he stopped to pick it up. Somebody shot him or whatever. It was a benefit. Yeah, it was a benefit show for that police officer.
Okay.
And to get into a story about that, I know a lot of people out there believe that wrestling is 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of old timers listening in the locker rooms talking about how people pulled knives out on them and chased them down the street in the cars and stuff like that. Well, we had an incident where the good guy won the belt. The face won, and the bad guy pulled up. I didn't know it at the time, but pulled a Eddie Guerrero and stuck a chain in his pants. Well, after he's, celebrating the win or whatever, I'm holding his hand up and dude's like, hey, man, he knocked me out. He hit me with something. I was like, well, I searched him and he didn't have nothing. Well, there's a chain hanging out of the front of dude's pants. So I stopped him. I'm like, I pulled it out. I was like, man, what's this? He's knocked out. You got this chain I found on you. So, I've got to reverse the decision. Mm-hmm. Well, dude, I want you to know them people in Bardstown blew plumb out. The police officers that was there at the show was like, man, if you need help or whatever, being escorted to your vehicle at the end of the show, let me know. And I was like, well, I don't think it's that bad. He's like, no, I heard a lot of them out there talking. They are really heated. You reverse the decision.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Well, I'm telling you, they had to escort me out because I lived in Bull County at the time. They had to escort me, police escort, with the sheriff's department there out of their county. And then a state boy took over just to make sure nobody tried to run me off the road. Because when I walked out, there was like 40 people around my car ready to jump me because I had reversed the decision. But like I said,
yes. I got news for you, man. People in the South, they don't play about their wrestling, man.
Right. Seriously. Damn.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've heard other people talk about that, like Lawler and people like that talking about stories like that. But I was like, it ain't going to happen to me. I'm just a rep. No, they were ready to kill me for real. Cause it's like, he cheated. He cheated. I was like, I found a chain. It was like literally hanging out of the front of his pants. He's knocked out. I mean, I've got to do my job. I mean, it's just like a detective or something. If you got the evidence on you, he's knocked out. I mean, common sense says you used it. But after I watched the video, I seen what really happened. And dude shoved it down his pants while I was looking at his shoulders to count him out. But I reversed the decision, took the belt back, give it back to the heel. Oh, they didn't like that too much.
I wouldn't want to be put in a situation like that. I've heard many stories of the talents as far as Jim Duggins and stuff like that. Heard stories of them trying to get out of towns and everything. So, and that's a bigger star. You know what I'm saying? And, no offense to anybody else, but that's a nationwide name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm just thinking I'm a referee. So, I mean, I'm good, but no, it was on.
I don't need 40 mad rednecks pulling up on me because I didn't.
Right.
Yes, sir. I feel it. All right. This next fella, guys, is good. That's the Boogie Woogie Man. Handsome Jimmy Valiant. He is actually, I just read an article, man. He is getting ready to wrestle his retirement match.
Yes.
83 years old.
Damn. He's still
he still got it. I mean, he does a lot of comedy stuff. Yes, he does a lot of comedy. Like when I rep for him, he would get down on all fours. I've got a picture of me somewhere where it's like high school amateur wrestling, and I'm down on all fours, and he's got me in a hold or whatever. And I thought that was pretty cool. But he'd get down on his all fours, and like run like a dog and headbutt the dude he's fighting and stuff and whatever. And then at one point he picked me up, set me on the top turnbuckle, and he's like, "You just sit here." And he just started doing some just crazy stuff. I was just like, okay. So I just sat there on the top rope and chilled for a minute and watched him do his thing. But yeah, to be that old, he still got it.
I was going to say, how does it feel to be a young, healthy man and have an 80-year-old man pick you up and put you on the top rope and tell you to stay there?
Right. I was like, yes, sir.
Right. I mean, 80 or not.
Right.
Let's see. Now, is this Rico?
No, that's Simon Dean, the one who used to come out, the fitness guru. Yeah.
Okay.
I always talked about taking diet pills and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now that you said that, I remember. Because at first I thought it was Rico without the big long sideburns.
No. That's Simon Dean. He always wore a purple outfit in the ring.
Yep. I remember who he is now. He didn't last very long in the WWE.
No.
All right. A man that's working behind the scenes with WWE as we speak. Abyss. I mean, you know, you've worked with some pretty big stars, man. I mean, you got Raven here.
Oh yeah, Raven.
I've got to say with that one, he's out of everybody I've met. I hope I don't offend people by saying this, but he was probably the most, pardon my language, but butthole-ish one I've ever met.
Oh, so he was an asshole.
Oh, I mean, dude. I mean, he was in the back in the locker room doing his little whatever. I ain't even gonna get into that. But what got me with him was this little kid. I mean, I know he's a heel. You got to stay in character at some point in time. But you know what I'm saying? This little kid walked up with this big old smile on his face, all happy. He's like, "Oh, you're Raven. You're Raven." He's like, "No shit," and just like jerks the thing out of his hand and signs it, and just like, "Get out of here." And I'm like, bruh, did you really just do it? If it wasn't for people like that, you wouldn't be where you're at now. And I was like, oh, that's right. That's why you're in the independent business again. And I didn't mean to say it, but it just come out because I was like upset because I mean, seen him do it to a lot of people, but I mean, other people he was good with. But I was like, that's a little kid, man. You don't do that, man. But
yeah.
I can understand being, having a frustrating night and, kind of snapping at an adult, but you got to keep your head when it comes to the kids,
Exactly. And that just set wrong with me, man. It really did. That set wrong with me because that little kid just walked away. I mean, with this big old smile and just walked away with his dragging. It's just like I mean, broke his heart. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they say like never meet your heroes or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll always be disappointed. And this one, I held this one for last because I had a specific question I want to ask you about this one. So, as everybody can see, the man, Rikishi,
WWE Hall of Famer.
Yes, sir. I have to ask, what was it like when he turned around and put them glasses on you and y'all did the dance and all that?
Oh, God, that was probably the most funnest time I believe I've ever had. And he's like, dude, he said, why aren't you working for Vince? I was like, because I don't know how to to do all that on, and he's like, he told me how to get on WWE.com and he asked me how old I was. See, WWE's got like an age limit, so to speak. If you're already above the 35-ish mark, there's really no chance. But if you're already in the business and hit that age, you're good. But as far as starting out, they went to Youngtown, which I understand.
Right.
Because I'm 48 myself, but he's like, hey, dude, he said, you're better than half the referees in WWE. And that I was just sitting there like, oh, no, you're just blowing smoke up my butt. And he's like, no. He said, really, man. He said, you were really good and professional, man. He said, you were out of the way. He said, you were only there when needed to be. He said, usually I got to tell referees to move so I can do something to somebody. But, yeah, he was really cool. And he was like, what are you doing after the show? I'm like, probably going home. He said, well, where you live at? I was like, about 30, 40 minutes away. He's like, going to Huddle House and eat with us. And I was like, I'm good. He said, I said, we're going to Huddle House and eat. I was like, yes, sir, we're going to Huddle House and eat. But I got to like sit with him or whatever. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And he was sitting there, people was walking up to him, wanting his autograph and everything. And I finally, kind of like a bodyguard type person, whatever, I was like, hey, can you at least let the man eat? And then, he might sign some autographs, but let the man eat, that kind of thing. But yeah, he was really cool, man. And he told me, he said, at the end of the show or whatever, he said, I want you to do the dance with me. I was like, no way. That's like, I've only seen Jerry Lawler and Brian Christopher and guys like that doing it. And I was like, I don't. He's like, no, for real. he kind of taught it to me, which I already knew it anyway because I grew up watching wrestling. But yeah, it was awesome, man, being able to do it. And then, like I said, the guy he had just beat was in the ring, and after he got beat or whatever, he finally come to his senses and he got back in the ring and he tried to like break down and do his own little deal or whatever. And Rikishi looked at me and I looked at him, and then Rikishi just super kicked the crap out of him, man, and knocked him back out. And he's like, now, then Rikishi grabs my hand and raises it up like us refs do the wrestlers or whatever. Right. And he like pointed at me and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, that was really cool.
And see, that's the thing, man. And that's, we've talked about it several times on the show, but like, that's what we've come to find out that we love about independent wrestling is it's just so much more intimate with the superstars, you know what I'm saying? And yes, I don't, they're just as big as superstars as WWE wrestlers or AEW or anybody else. You know what I'm saying? These people work their butts off just like any of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm friends with a lot of them now, and I can't think of a weekend that I don't see somebody, if they're not booked, looking for a booking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they work their butts off. They do a great job. They keep the fans entertained, and it's amazing, just to see the effort that they put into it and everything, and to see the fact that, like you said with Raven, I've never seen one of these superstars, and we know a lady who, and I'm not dismissing anybody else's injuries or anything else, but I always point this lady out because I think she's a warrior. She wrestles under the name Black Dahlia for around here, but she wrestles for Juggalo Wrestling, Championship Wrestling too. She wrestles up there as the Ring Rat. But her name, she's awesome lady, but she's got a nerve disease that she got from an injury in the ring.
I did not know that.
I'm sitting here watching this girl, like, what was it, Uncle Slam? 2 or 3 shows ago, she got power bombed through a table.
Wow.
And then,
I'm glad
I was just saying, it's just like to watch these people put in this work and then to turn around and watch them after the show, walk around, take the pictures, sign the autographs. And they look at these kids and don't ask for a penny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm really honestly and truthfully a bigger fan now of independent wrestling than I am what they would call pro wrestling on TV. You know what I'm saying? The mainstream wrestling, right? Because they're pro wrestling just as pro as WWE is. And I just think they need their flowers and stuff more. I really do.
Exactly. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of, like, you know what I'm saying, watching WWE now, and the worst thing you ask a wrestler or tell a wrestler is it's fake. I mean, yes, we all know it's storyline because of the movie The Wrestler and, social media and everything now or whatever, but I don't even know, the independents, the only ones that I know that actually, what you say, keep kayfabe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't see a lot of kayfabing anymore or whatever. It's just like, people's like, oh, all wrestling's fake. And, I've even done this a time or two myself. People say wrestling's fake. I'm like, it's fake. I'll pick up a steel folding chair and fold it up, be like, let me hit you with this. Then how's that fake? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, we may know how to land and whatever, but that's besides the point. I mean, I've seen broken necks, I've seen broken arms, broken legs. I mean, I've had to throw the X sign several times in matches or whatever. I mean, it's just, independent wrestlers. I mean, like I said, even in WWE, I've seen a couple matches where John Cena, like, the guy missed him by that much, and you could tell it. I mean, obviously that he didn't even make contact. Where independent guys actually, they won't bump until they feel, until they get hit. So, I mean, I respect that a lot more, too, because, I mean, it's just like there's been times like dudes picked somebody up over the shoulder and then swung them around and hit me to knock me out. I was like, well, you make sure that there's contact, because I don't want to sell too soon.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You want it to look good. That's the whole point of it. It's like I heard Kevin Nash say something once, you can go out there and you can put somebody in a figure 4 and you can snap somebody's leg in half.
Right.
That move,
I just seen a simple body slam and seen dude's arm go the opposite direction, about like Sid Vicious did when he jumped off the top rope at one time. I mean, dude went to land and it just like I don't know how he landed his arm. Just I was like, oh my god, man! And I instantly went to him. I was like, are you good? He's like, no. I said, I heard the snap, so I was like,
Oh,
hey,
right.
you gotta come out here, man. So he can't continue. It's over.
But it's like Kevin Nash said, you can put them in a figure four and break their leg, but you don't. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? He said, because you understand that the show must go on.
Right.
That's not what wrestling is. Wrestling
Right.
is not MMA.
No.
Wrestling is not anything. It's its own thing. People don't understand that. It's its own thing. It looks like a little bit of MMA, and it looks like a little bit of maybe karate or boxing, and all these different elements from Hollywood, whatever. But that's what makes it so great. Is it's that mix of everything, and then you put it all together, and you give that great illusion of absolutely killing each other.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. It's just
You know
like
what
the
I'm saying?
biggest bump. I sent you that video, I believe, the biggest bump that I've ever took in my life. Like I said, I don't like doing this on air or whatever, but it's like I told dude, I said my dad passed away and I need some time off for a while. And this guy, he's from Marion County. He goes by the Iron Demon Shane Mercer, I believe is what he goes by. But I knew him when he was Diablo or whatever. But he's like John Cena, the independent business. I mean, he's a big old boy. I mean, to be young as he is. But I told him, I said, man, you're the only one I trust. You come in at about the same time I did. I said, I need something. I've been hit with belts. I've been squashed in corners. I've been hit with Alice Nose mannequin head. I said, I've been through a lot. I said, I really need to be taken out. He's like, well, I've been working on this fall away backflip off the top rope. And I'm like, I don't know about all that now. But he's like, he's like, he showed me how to take it. I was like, all right, cool. And here's the funny part. Didn't nobody know about it but me and him that it was going to happen. So I went to raise his hand up, and where he's a heel, he jerks my arm down and pushes me. He's like, don't touch me. I was like, man, I'm just trying to show you respect and raise your hand and declare you champion. He's like, here's your respect. He took his hand and pushed me back by my head. So I walk up and I shove him with everything I got, and you can hear the smack, and then you hear the crowd go, oh, shit, this ref's crazy. Because, I mean, I'm talking, this dude is like stacked. Well, I pushed him or whatever, and I was like, you know what, forget it. So I went to turn around, and he turns me around and sticks his hand out to shake it. I look at the crowd, and they're like, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Looked at the other side, they was like, don't do it, don't do it. So I wound up shaking his hand, and after I shook his hand or whatever, I turned to get out of the ring, and he clobbers me. Pow! Knocks me out or whatever and picks me up like I'm a pillow. Gets me up on the top turnbuckle, and he's like, bye bye, bitch, and does a backflip and lands on top of me in the middle of the ring. And everybody's like, oh shit, he just killed that guy. Well, they come in, we had some EMT guys out in the crowd or whatever. They come in with the backboard, the neck brace, the whole 9 yards or whatever. And dude, it was like, it was, people really, it was like, oh my God. So, I didn't even get on Facebook for like I said, I don't like telling stuff like this, but I didn't even get on Facebook for like a week or two. And I done a check-in at the hospital. I was like, due to what happened, I'm out indefinitely. It was just a way to, write me off a storyline or whatever. But dude, I'm telling you, to be you see the video. I mean, I bounced when we hit, and it's not a trampoline. It's metal and plywood. People think it's a trampoline. The ring is not a trampoline.
No, it's not.
But I mean, we hit so hard, we both bounced up like a basketball and come back down again. I mean, it was a good solid bump. So I mean, it definitely took me out. And you mentioned JCW earlier, the St. Clown Posse's wrestling. I refereed for J Boy, I believe it was, and a guy named Bull Payne. He used to be with the Texas. He was in the tag team in WCW back in the day. Oh man, my mom went blank. But anyway, he was pretty well known in WCW at the time. But he goes by Bull Payne now. He looks like a big old biker. I mean, he's a big old, like 290, 300-pound dude. I mean, big, stocky, biker looking dude. And he carries a baseball bat around called Brother Payne. Well, after he won the match, he keeps hitting them and whatever. And I'm ringing the bell, ringing the bell, ringing the bell. He takes that bat, points it at me. He says, get out of my way, punk. I kind of back off a little bit. He keeps stomping on him. I'm like, dude, you won. Ding, 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 ding. I keep ringing the bell. Well, he gut shots me with the bat. Well, me still being third, fourth match in, I'm still a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Knowing what I know now, I should have sold it right then. You know what I'm saying? When he gut shot at me. But I just stayed bent over and was like coughing and spitting up or whatever. Like, oh, he just hit me in the gut, Well, he comes down with the bat and clobbers me in the back and leaves a baseball bat welt across my back. And it's not a plastic bat, it's not a rubber bat. It was an aluminum baseball bat. And when I hit the ground, J Boy from Insane Clown Wrestling's posse, wrestling or whatever, he said, "Sell it or he'll hit you again." I said,
Oh,
"Believe me, I ain't got to sell it because I'm done. That hurt. That." So I was taking my shirt off in the back or whatever. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, dude, you got a welt like so thick on you," and it's the shape of the bat. I mean, yeah. But yeah, that was a crazy night that night. But yeah, I learned quickly sell
Right. Real quick.
real quick.
So, well, before I get into any questions, Uncle Sam, you got any questions for Conway? But well, before we get into that, Superfly, just wanted to recognize you. What do you say, buddy, man? Superfly Johnny Lee was in the conversation. He said, "Always love Bill Dundee," and he also wanted to say, "Hey guys, dropping in to leave some love." I believe they're doing a show tonight too. I'm not for sure. I know they're doing a watch along with Elimination Chamber tomorrow night. And guys, by the way, I don't know if Uncle Slam's going to be able to join, but I'm going to do a live watch along too tomorrow night with Elimination Chamber as well. So yeah, come and join tomorrow too. But Uncle Slam, you got any questions for Conway? You want to?
the only real question I think that I really kind of wanted to know was how did you get into being a ref? I mean, like we got you started. I mean, like, did you have a friend that did it? I mean, did you always, like wrestling and just kind of wanted to be it, or was it
A little bit all the above. A buddy of mine that I was running around with, he was a wrestler. He went by the Rookie Nightmare, L.J. Jameson, he's a young cat.
Mhm.
And he's like, man, he said, I'm taking my uncle owns this wrestling company, and they was running Danville where I live at in Boyle County. He's like, man, he said, you need to come to one of the shows with me, and I'll introduce you to my uncle. I was like, all right, cool. He said, I can get you in free, yada, yada, yada. I was like, all right, cool. So I go to the show, and I'm sitting there, I'm nervous as crap. I'm thinking, I'm meeting, quote unquote, the Vince McMahon of this wrestling company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get in there, and the halftime comes around or whatever, So he's like, dude's like LJ Jameson. He's like, uncle. He said, this is my buddy I was telling you about. And I had my head down, nervous as crap, and I heard, Conway, I know this MFer. And I look up, and it's a dude I've known for years. He's like, you're the one wanting to be a ref? I was like, yeah. He said, dude, you know more about wrestling than I do, man. He said, I tell you what, he said, get a hold of Frankfurt to the Kentucky Boxing and Wrestling Commission, get your license. He said, next week, he said, get to the show. We set up the ring around dinner time or whatever, but it ain't till 8 o'clock at night. He said, we'll get in the ring. We're going to practice around. And he said, I'm not going to tell you what to do. He said, you just referee and do what you think you need to do. Well, I mean, they sitting there doing everything they could do, pulling hair, I'm doing the count, they're doing hot tags and cheating and just doing all kinds of stuff. And I mean, I'm on it. I've watched it all my life. You know what I'm saying? So I just done because I patent myself, I say, after Earl Hebner, Scott Armstrong, and Charles Robinson.
Yeah.
Because when I stand in the ring, I stand like Scott Armstrong, but I'm physical. Like when they start pushing me around, I'll start getting back at them or whatever, like Earl Hebner. But like when a ref gets knocked out and I got to take their place, I come running in and sliding under the rope like Charles Robinson. So I had a little bit of all of them.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I was sitting there doing everything I was supposed to do. They go outside of the ring, I do the count. They tested me every way they could test me. They was like, bro, you got it. You want to work tonight? I said, really? I mean, they was like, dude, you passed the test. I mean, I was like, sweet. And they got my foot in the door, and I worked for free forever and just paid my dues, setting up chairs, passing out flyers, doing the whole 9 yards, setting the ring up, tearing the ring down. Then I got into KZW, which is at the time it was called Killzone Wrestling out of Somerset, but they had to change the name because of the fan base or whatever, younger fans. They didn't want it to call it Killzone.
Yeah.
So they changed it to Kentucky Zone Wrestling. And I got in with them. Then I met this guy named Legendary Larry D. He worked for Impact Wrestling for a while. Still may do, but he's pretty big name, and especially in the independent business. But he's like, bro, he said, you're too good at what you do not to be getting paid. He said, man, I got some connections. He said, I'll hook you up, man. Well, he wound up getting me in with MWA, which I think Macho Man's people owned it at one point in time. It was based out of Winchester at this time, Mountain Wrestling Association. Okay. And I was the last rep to work for them. That's where I met Abyss at and worked with him. But I mean, if it wasn't for Larry D, I would have never got to work the status that I got to. I mean, I'm still not famous or nothing, but to be a nobody to a kind of somebody was all because of him. Because he's like, dude, you're too good. So he started introducing me people, and there for the longest time, when wrestlers would need somebody in Kentucky, shows would need somebody to be like, does anybody know any good independent referees in the state of Kentucky? Well, dude, my Facebook would start blowing up, people tagging my name in it. They're like, dude, he's one of the best refs around. He's one of the best refs around. So I kind of got my foot in the door, and I started getting opportunity after opportunity. I've literally worked for, oh God, man, 20, 30 companies probably, man, just randomly, just all over the state of Kentucky. I'm in the Hall of Fame in Tennessee. I've been there twice, Oneida and Tazewell. I've been in Indiana a couple times, but mostly I spent my time in Kentucky. But I mean, like I said, if it wasn't for Larry D, legendary Larry D, he goes by Larry Jones on Facebook or whatever, but he's a monster too. But he there for a while. He had a tag team partner. Oh God, what was their names? I can't think of it now. But anyway, it just kept snowballing, man. I just kept getting noticed and kept getting noticed and kept getting noticed. And then working with Rikishi and guys like that, they're like, dude, you're like one of the best refs around. You're better than a lot of WWE refs. I mean, I'm like, nah, you're just telling me that. It's like, no, dude, you got it. You got the heart, the passion, the dedication, everything. You got it. You got the it factor. And that kind of swelled my head up a little bit, but I still maintained my control. I was like, oh, cool, man. I mean, this is actually awesome, man. Got all these big names saying that I'm that good. Because I just thought, hey, I'm just doing something that I used to get in trouble in school. Teachers would be like, read chapter 1 through 5 or whatever. And all my teachers knew I didn't read. Well, when they'd see me reading, they'd sneak around and come up from behind me and catch me, and I'd have a wrestling magazine stuck inside my book. Yeah, I'm reading, but I'm not reading the assignment.
Yeah.
But you said I had to read.
Paid off.
You didn't say what I had to read.
Right. Exactly. Right.
You got to learn how to
like
teachers,
Right.
Jason,
but I wound up working with that guy on a roof for the teacher that caught me, and he's like, "You Conway, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Man," he said, "I remember you." And he was telling my boss, he said, "Yeah," he said, "He used to get in trouble in school for having a wrestling magazine stuck in his book and supposed to be reading his assignment." He said, "But I see it paid off for you, man." He said, "You always talked about dreaming, living a dream, and wanting to be in wrestling." He said, "I ain't gonna lie to you." He said, "I thought it was just one of them kitty talks. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be a fireman or I'm gonna be a policeman." He said, "I never thought you'd actually make it." And he said, "Man, he said, I've seen some of your matches. I've been to some of your live shows." He said, "Man," he said, you're really good, man." He said, "I'm proud of it." I was like, oh wow,
that is awesome, man.
Hell
so
yeah.
I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it in a way because I've always wanted to know why. Like, so for all of you that don't know, like I said, I've known Conway for years. I'd say going on probably close to 20 now, man, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
that's
it's
crazy,
been a minute.
man. It's went by quick. But
Yep.
so when I first met Conway and first went over to his house and everything, I walked in, and I'm telling you, if I didn't know the truth, I would think that Mark Calloway lived there. Because there was Undertaker stuff everywhere. This man loves the Undertaker. So I'm curious as to, I don't know if you've seen my post the other day on Facebook. If you didn't, if you're not a part of the Facebook group, you'll have to go join it. It's Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc,
Gotcha.
just like the show.
Gotcha.
But that somebody did an AI picture, and it's got the Undertaker and Kane and Paul Bearer and just some random woman sitting in the picture, and it looks like it's back in like the 70s, their haircuts and everything.
Oh wow.
So I put on there, and I said, it's obvious AI, I said, this family worked as in a funeral parlor together until a bad accident left brother Glenn badly disfigured, and his brother Mark was so distraught about it, he left and started a cult. And his dad was so distraught that he sunk himself into the mortician mortician business. And I said, unfortunately, the woman in the picture was never heard from again.
Right.
It was hilarious. But no, so to get to the question, I know you're a huge Undertaker fan, but what got you started with the Undertaker?
And honestly, it's not that I was like gothic or devil or nothing like that or whatever. It's just I liked the show. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, is this guy? I mean, I was young then. I was like, man, is this guy? Because you hit him, it's just like Jason Voorhees. He just turn around and look at you. They'd hit him, he
Mhm.
just turn around and look at you. I was like, man, is this dude really dead? I mean, me being a kid, I'm like, oh, dude, this is awesome. This dude is, he's unstoppable.
Is
And
he
then he's,
dead? Is he a zombie?
yeah,
What is
yeah.
he?
His manager's name's Paul Bear. He's using body bags, urns, caskets. I'm just like, this is pretty cool. And what really, really set it off was when they started doing the light show. You hear the thunder over the music and the lightning, strikes and everything inside the arena, and it's just like, oh wow. And then when he raised his hands up and the lights, I didn't know about the dimmer switches then because obviously I was young. But they turn the lights on as he bring his hands up. I'm like, oh my god, this dude is like freaking awesome, man. I mean, and basically that's what got me into it. It's just like what he represented. It's not that people's like, oh, you gothic or you're Satanist. No, it ain't nothing like that. It's just like he played that character great. I mean, he kept the kayfabe in it and everything. And even when you seen him out in public, he always wore solid black and he didn't say much. And I just respected that, you know what I'm saying? Because I've seen a lot of people, and you hear stories about it all the time. Like Brett and Owen had their little feud, and people would see them at the hotel or airport talking to each other, like, I knew y'all wasn't really mad at, that kind of thing. But Taker stayed in character the whole time, you know what I'm saying? And I loved it, like I said, how they treated his entrance. Because he, not just because it's my favorite wrestler, but by all means, he has the best wrestling entrance I've ever seen in my life.
He
I
was
mean,
so like, even though when he first came to the WWE, they were still doing that whole cartoon character driven
yeah,
character,
yeah.
but his cartoon
Re-
character was so much different. It was so much,
yes,
it was so new because
yeah.
even though when he first came, yeah, he got a world title match quick, and
Mhm.
everybody, the hero was still Hogan and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But like the Undertaker was off to the side and people were beating on him and it wasn't affecting him. And he was
yeah,
putting,
yeah,
like you said, and he was putting people in body bags. So it was like almost
yeah,
like, oh crap.
yeah,
Can
I,
can can
yeah,
Hulk beat him?
Yeah.
Can Hulkamania overcome whatever this is?
yeah.
Because
It's
nothing
just like
proven.
the streak of the Undertaker. The WrestleMania streak that was awesome, but the way it ended, in my opinion, I don't think it should have ended but one way. If I was the storyline writer or whatever of it, here's how I personally would have ended it. Everybody that he's ever beat that's still alive, let's put it that way, that he's put in the WrestleMania cemetery, I think should have come. It should have been like a no DQ match or something. And everybody that he has ever beat come out and do their move on him and just like take him plumb out and then pin him or something. That's how
Yeah.
I would have ended the streak
Like at the
personally.
very end, have all his former opponents surround the
Mhm.
ring,
Yep.
and then dude, that I never thought about that, but that would have
Yes.
actually been a really
Yeah, I
cool.
like that too. Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Because
I didn't like the way
That's
it
how I
was
would have
doing.
ended it.
Yeah.
No. I mean, because Brock was already a big name. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could have, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was good that Roman Reigns did, but at the same time, I would have been more, even if Kane would have done it, his brother, you know what I'm saying? But I still think the way I said it, everybody should, it should have been a no DQ match or something. Maybe it could have been Kane, him fighting Kane or something. And then,
I
like
think
you said,
that's the only
everybody
choice.
come out. Yeah. And then everybody come out, and then everybody, their big Diesel, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Superfly, all of them. You know what I'm saying? Come out and just
Mhm.
do their move on him and just like take him out.
Yeah.
That's how I
See,
would have ended it.
I don't think it should have ended because I just like the streak. I personally, like, I would have kept it till he
That too.
retired. But if you were going to, I hated that it was that they did. It was basically a squash match. You know what I'm saying? Brock just annihilated him, and he lost. Like, it wasn't like a great match. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if came down to
Right.
the wire and he won. But just to get dominated and the streak just over. I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way they did them.
Right. Because when it happened, I'm sitting there watching the pay-per-view, and I'm just like in
Stunned
shock. I
like
just sit there
everybody
for like
else.
10.
Everybody was.
Yeah. I was
like,
sitting
look
there
at
for
the
10
body
minutes. I was
stuff.
just like, yeah. I mean, I walked outside and cried. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, there ain't no way they just took that streak away from him, man. It went too
It's
far and
okay.
too
I did the
long.
same thing when Sean retired. But we're not going to talk about that. But I mean, Josh unfortunately didn't get that option because Bill Goldberg, but he's a big Brett fan, so we give him hell about the Brett and Bill Goldberg situation. But no, I mean, I remember watching that match too, and like I remember like, okay, it's Brock and it's Undertaker, and I just assumed it was going to be a loss for Brock. And then like I remember sitting there watching, and all of a sudden I heard the 3 count, and it wasn't, and I didn't hear the dung after the 3 count. And I remember turning and looking at the guy I was watching it with, and we were just kind of looking at each other like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's what just happened, right. And then we got to looking at it, was like, what the hell? The street, blah, blah, blah. It was crazy. So we know you big Undertaker fan and all that stuff. So, but taking the Undertaker out of it and just all of wrestling, give me your, because I ask this, pretty much of everybody that comes on the show, if I think of it, give me your Mount Rushmore all time of singles. We'll do men, women, and tag teams.
See, my top 5 would definitely number 1's Undertaker. Randy Orton.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels. I love Trish Stratus.
Don't you, Uncle Slam?
I can't see that. My internet doesn't go that way.
Your internet doesn't go that way. It says, well, here, let me help you. It says #Heartbreak Kid.
No, can't see that. I guess it's old age. Darn.
I'd also have to say, believe it or not, I was a big Dolph Ziggler fan.
Okay.
Because he's a bumping, you know what I'm saying? He showed out. Cody Rhodes, because no matter what role they put him in, whether it's a punishment or whatever, he played that role 100%. I definitely say I'd put The Rock in there.
Really?
But yeah. Even though he's more of he was a great mic. He was great on that mic. And Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course.
Right. Yeah, it's hard not to. Like I say, it's hard to leave any list. I mean, I can understand having one or the other, but it's hard not to have any list without a Hulk or a Stone Cold or something like that on there, just because of the impact and the timing. You know what I'm saying? Even Rock up there too, and everything like you said. They did so much, and changed wrestling at those times. Yeah. So who would you say is your top, say, 5 tag teams all time?
I got to throw the Road Warriors in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Heart Foundation.
There you go.
Oh God, you got me on the spot now.
It's okay. You can say the Rockers. No, I'm just joking.
No, I wasn't a big Rockers fan.
Me either.
Demolition, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I like Demolition.
I don't know. It's about all I can think of right off the top of my head. It's about all I can think of right now. And top female is number 1. I was a big Sunny fan back in the day.
Okay. Sunny days.
And then it was Trish Stratus. Yep. Then Michelle McCool. And then rest in peace. She won the Divas Search or whatever. The Allison Moreau or whatever her name was.
Ashley.
There you go. Yes.
I mean, here's not to get too far off topic, but I just found out. Did you know she was in The Files?
No. Oh yes, I
Really?
did. Yes, I
That
did.
is,
I saw
yeah,
that.
that's
Yes, she
crazy.
was. No.
I'm like, that's crazy. But anyways, not to get off on a tangent on that. We got Stan watching too. What's up, Styling Stan? Why don't you get in here and holler at us if you can, man? We got room for you. We'll let you come in and talk to old Conway here while we got him on the line. But yeah, man, I'm trying to think how to word this. Uncle Slam, let me try to think about this and get to him for a second because I
Okay.
got a question, but I'm trying to think how I want to word it.
Now, do you still watch wrestling now? Whatever. The newer
Not
wrestling.
as not as not as much. I mean, I do kind of keep up with it, and I forgot to mention Randy Orton in my comments earlier in Mount Rushmore, but I'm more like a Randy Orton fan. Um, that one, the one that oh crap, my mind's going blank on me. Um, the one mommy's with now,
Oh,
Damian Priest, I think's his
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Damien.
Yeah, he's really good. I like him.
Okay. See, that kind of answer my next question was going to be like, who do you like now? You know what I'm saying? As far as, but you kind of answer that with the whole Damian Priest or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
I can
And
see Damien.
I was a big Bray Wyatt fan, but
oh,
rest in peace to him. But yeah, I'd have
Yeah.
been a Bray Wyatt because that was the next Undertaker to me.
yeah,
Bray had a great mind for the business. He
Hmm.
knew how to. I mean, when I'll be honest with you, when I first seen the whole Firefly Funhouse stuff, I was like, "What is this crap?"
Yeah,
And then when it would flip and he would turn into the Fiend and stuff,
yeah.
he had a great mind.
And I
But
totally
what?
didn't know that he was IRS's son.
Yeah. And did you know that IRS is Barry Windham's brother?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said,
That's
I was today years old when I found that out.
yeah. He was a third generation superstar.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I mean, and the sad thing about it is, man, is just he the talent. You know what I'm saying? Not only did he have the mind, he had the talent. And it
Right.
wasn't like talent where you had to go out there and and it's no offense to anybody, but he didn't have to go out there and do a bunch of flips. He didn't have to go out there and do a bunch of crazy spots.
No.
He just knew how to tell the story in the ring.
yeah.
And
Right.
it's so sad because wasn't it a heart condition or something that they
Yeah,
knew?
actually, like it could have been prevented because he technically, I think he had the same thing Hunter had, where he was having it was basically like heart failure type deal, and Hunter ended up getting like a pacemaker put in, and why and like before that, like they want him to wear this kind of like a vest that in case your heart stops moving or whatever, it kind of shocks you. Well, Hunter wore his or whatever, and then they gave him the option to have a like defibrillator put in, and they're like, this could be an isolated thing, that just happened one time and nothing ever happens again, or it could happen again and you could die if we don't have this in place. So Hunter went and had it put in place. Now, Bray Wyatt was supposed to wear that vest, and he didn't want to or whatever, and he ended up passing away in his car because he had a heart attack, and you know, there was nobody
That's,
around, to get him help in time. So
that's so sad, man.
Yes,
So
it
yeah,
sad.
is.
so like it kind of could have been prevented, but it's just one of those things. It's tragedy no matter what. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
Like,
So Conway, so let me ask you this, Conway. What would you honestly and truthfully say out of all your experiences and everything? What would you say is your favorite match? Or did you already cover that with the Rikishi thing? What was your favorite match to officiate, just from start to finish, because of the story, everything that was being told in the ring?
Well, I'd have to. It wouldn't be none of the big names I worked for, honestly. If you want me to be honest about it, the guy that I was a manager for, because I was a heel manager and Corbin for TSW, which is a traditional Southern wrestling. His name was the Widowmaker, and I was the fabulous Mr. Conway. I was kind of like a Paul Heyman kind of deal, and telling everybody how it is and stuff and whatever. But before I got to managing them, we was working in Wildcat Championship Wrestling in Lawrenceburg, and of course they were the heels, and I was a referee or whatever. But this storyline was so great that we worked it out to. It was awesome. It's like they kept trying to buy me off, you know what I'm saying, and pay us money to get me to turn heel, be a heel ref or whatever. And I kept refusing it and kept refusing it. So finally one day, they showed me this big wad of money. So I was like, all right. So I took it, and the crowd's like, "Oh man, this ref just turned heel on us right here, right now." I'm turning my back to the good guys. Like when they got the pin, I'm tying my shoe. I'm selling it like I'm really about to turn heel. Well, I wound up flipping the script and screwing them and letting the good guys win, but I took off with their money. Well, I was getting on Facebook and going to like karaoke bars, stuff like that, and whatever. And I was tagging everywhere I was going. I'm like, I'm here at such and such karaoke club. I'm here at such and such. Whatever. Well, he went to the same karaoke club I did, the guy that I screwed, the Widowmaker. And I'm sitting there doing a live stream or whatever. And I was like, check out, support independent wrestling in your city and state. And I look up, and here this big 6 foot tall dude comes at me. He's like, Conway, are you really that dumb? You post everywhere you go. You think I wouldn't find you? You took off with our money and this and this and this and whatever. Well, they wound up beating the hell, quote unquote, beat me up in the karaoke club or whatever, throw me in the tables and this and this and this. Then to top it all off, they wound up throwing me in the trash can at the end. After it's all said and done, they literally threw me in the Herbie Kirby trash can or whatever and shut the lid. It's like, now take our money again. A few other choice words or whatever. But I thought that was pretty cool, little storyline. And I actually got to wrestle one match. And he's a local independent wrestler too. His name's Terrific Terry Allen, the cowboy. He comes out with a stick horse named Peter and stuff like that and whatever. And it was me and yeah. So he'll be like, "You touched my Peter," stuff like that. But his stick horse is named Peter. Well, every time he's ever lost a match at the loser league town, I've been the counting ref. So he genuinely hates me because he's a heel. He's like, "You screw me out of every match that I'm ever in." Well, he's trying to pick on this little midget dude named Kid Mac. And I kept blocking his arms. I was like, man, he's a midget. So, he told dude, he said, he got a Mad Mex, which is a kind of sort of famous midget wrestler or whatever. He said, I've got him. You pick you a partner. So I kind of tapped little dude on the shoulder and I'm like, pick me. He's like, you. I was like, he hates me. I hate him. I said, what better? So we actually had a match or whatever. And I was going to do the John Cena, you can't see me to get the pin. But when I had him down, I stood there and I looked up and I just seen a bunch of kids in front of me or whatever. So I took my elbow pad off, threw it out in the crowd. I done the people's elbow on him or whatever. And then I laid over him. And then the little midget dude, my partner, got on top of me or whatever. And we got the 1, 2, 3. So I actually got a pinfall victory over Terrific Terry Allen. So them two were probably the top storylines that I'd ever been involved with.
That is absolutely awesome, man. Like, and you were talking about earlier, telling people, hey, this is not a trampoline. I can attest to this, people. I have never once taken the first bump in my life, but I have stepped foot in a wrestling ring, and I can tell you it's not that thick.
No,
and there are boards underneath there, and it's pretty stiff. It bounces.
Yeah,
but
what it is I've set the ring up. It's a steel bars. Mm-hmm. Some people use plywood, whole pieces of plywood, and some use individual 4x8s or whatever, the big, long, thick 2x4 looking things, depending on the company or whatever. And then about that thick of a yoga pad and the canvas. That's it. So you're basically landing on metal and wood with a little bit of a yoga pad there. That's honestly to God, that's it. And it's just the give when the especially with plywood, it's got a little more bounce to it because it's springing up, coming back down, hitting the metal. So it sounds like it would be a trampoline, but it's not. It's definitely not.
I wouldn't want to do it. I'm gonna have to. Once I get this neck fixed and everything, hope to God I ain't gonna have to have surgery on it. But
yeah,
I'm gonna have to. But Lord, I ain't looking forward to it.
I've took some major bumps in there. It's one wrestler in Lawrenceburg done the Sister Abigail move on me, which was Bray Wyatt's move. I've had that done to me. I've been hit with Al Snow's mannequin head. That backflip off the top rope. That was literally the devastating bump I've ever took in my life. And like I said, you could tell when we hit, we come back up and come back down again. It was a solid hit, and that was rough. But I've had my head split open.
Are bouncing at the same time and landing on each other. It's not
fun. No.
It's the worst, say like injury that you've ever had was from that move or whatever.
No, actually, the worst injury I ever had was in a KZW. It's like they had a show in Liberty in Casey County, and this the Dragons, I think was their name, the heel tag team or whatever. It's like a faction like NWO kind of thing or something. It's like Tokyo Dragon, all these little
Okay.
masked people, whatever. And they lost the match, and they took it upon themselves to literally beat the teetotal shit out of me at the end of the match. I took dude had my arms pulled back behind my head, and I took the dude jumped up or whatever and done like the oh god, my mind's going blank. I can't think of the move. Insecurity to the back of the head. Boom, I'm down. Then the dude just starts stomping on me. Well, I'm sitting there, I'm sealing it, and I'm sealing it, and I'm sealing it. Well, as I'm sealing it, I bend in an awkward position, and when he kicked me in the ribs, it literally cracked them. And you
Oh,
can see me on video grab the rope and pull myself underneath it, and that was the sign. Hey, I'm done. I can't take no more. But as they're stomping me, I'm selling it and I'm doing what I got to do. But like I said, I was bending in an awkward position, and with that last kick, it really
oh,
cracked my rib, and I pulled myself underneath the ropes. Like, dude, I'm done. I can't do no more. And then they had me on video. I can send it to you later or something, Jason. But I was walking around. I was like, "Where's the GM at?" I was like, "Man," I said, "I'm sick and tired of getting beat up by the Dragons." I said, "I'm a referee, not a wrestler." I said, "This is going to stop me. Find them a big old quantity of money or whatever, and put them in a big cage match or something for punishment, and find them all each like $5,000 or something or whatever." But they like literally like that was real. I mean, there was no selling, there was no faking. That was 100% real. I mean, and believe it or not, the very next weekend I had a wrestling match or wrestling show, and I took my ace wraps or whatever in a back brace, and I wrapped my ribs up real tight and real good, and I actually performed the following weekend with cracked ribs.
oh
So
shit.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I was definitely dedicated.
Yeah,
I've
I know.
cracked a rib, and I've cracked one, and I mean, it hurts to breathe.
Hmm.
So it's not fun at all.
No,
Well, man, I appreciate you being here with us, man. I'm all out of questions. Uncle Slam, you got anything else for Conway?
I just got one more question, I guess. What would you tell your younger self that you've learned now, or I guess tell somebody who's going to get into, say, being a ref, that you've learned from all your years being a ref, like maybe some advice, maybe some tips and tricks, do's and don'ts or whatever,
the best
like what
advice
do you
I
have?
could give,
Go ahead.
the best advice I could give is like you've got two ears and a mouth for a reason. Keep your mouth shut, ears open at all times. You never, if you ever hear a wrestler, referee, anybody say, "Oh, I've got it. I know everything." No, you learn something new every day. You walk into a locker room. You make sure you walk around and you shake everybody's hand. The veterans, the new guys, whatever. You go around and shake your hand. Hey, I'm so and so, whatever. You respect them. I'm still old school. You can probably see some of my matches or whatever. You don't see a lot of people doing this anymore, but I wipe my feet before I get in the ring.
Yeah.
Yep.
You see William Regal them do stuff like that, but you don't see a lot of people do it anymore. But I'm old school like that. I wipe my feet before I get in the ring. That's just a respect thing, because reason I say that is because you might be walking around and get like little pebbles in your shoe or something. You get in that ring, and then that little bitty pebble, you get body slammed on it. It's going to hurt. You know what I'm saying? So that's like a respect thing. Shake hands, listen. I mean, don't talk, listen. I mean, just pick people's brains. You know what I'm saying? If you're in there with
Yeah.
Rakishi, you in there with whoever, pick their brain. You know what I'm saying? Ask them questions. I mean, watch what I done was I watched a lot of my videos. My wife at the time would be like, "You just refed it. Why are you watching?" I was like, "Because I'm seeing what I done wrong and what I could have done different."
Hell yeah. I like
I mean, because you know what I'm saying. I mean, literally. I mean, I can sit there and watch it back and be like, "Man, I was a little too slow with that count, or I was a little too fast with it, or
Mhm.
why didn't I do this at this time instead of that?" And you learn from yourself and you learn from your mistakes, so to speak. But
yeah.
that's probably the best advice that I could give, man. Just like I said, I mean, just if you got a dream, man, live it, man. I mean, you only got one life to live, and like I said, I mean, I've seen a lot of guys say, "Oh yeah, wrestling's fake, this, and this, and this." They pay thousands of dollars to be trained. I'll never forget this one time. This dude dropped $1,500 or whatever for a down payment or whatever to get trained. Well, they sit there and practice for like 30 minutes. They put a ball underneath your chin so you keep your chin tucked and they push you down over somebody so you learn to take the bumps and everything. Well, we sitting there looking around or whatever. I'm like, where's so and so at? I don't know, where is he? We go in the locker room. He's packing up his stuff. He's like, man, you keep the money. I'm done. We're like, I thought it was fake. They're like, no, I'm done. I can't do it. I mean, so, but yeah,
But
I mean, it takes heart, dedication. I mean,
yeah,
takes a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing is just listen. I mean, if you know they give you advice, I mean, don't take. I mean, some of them might be come at you as an ass or whatever, but you got you know, just like anything, if they like giving you hell, listen. And then, like I said, I go back and be like, man, why did he give me so much hell for, or whatever, whatever. And I go back and watch my match, be like, okay, gotcha. I see he had a reason to, or whatever, you know. I kind of goofed up or whatever, you know, but
Well,
I mean, because it can happen.
you don't always see what everybody else is seeing as far as the
Exactly.
flow of everything. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
It's just
And
like
if
the
some
movie The Wrestler. They that really broke down really what wrestling's all about. Because a lot of guys would try to tell me, be like, "Well, I'm gonna go in there. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna boot him. Then I'm whatever, and give me the whole rundown of the match." And I'm like, "That's cool and all, but literally, this is the way I live. I just walk in and be like, "What's the finish?" Like, say you two are fighting each other, and Jason, you're going over. I'd be like, or J Mac, if you're going over, I'd be like, "What's the finish?" Oh, I'm going to hit him with the stunner, just for example. Well, I'm going to do my job until I see that stunner. Then I know, you know what I'm saying, that
right.
it's over. Or if he's supposed to win or whatever, and he says rock bottom. Well, I'm going to do what I got to do until I see the rock bottom. But a lot of guys will try to tell me the whole match. I'm like, I'm not wrestling. I just need to know the finish.
Well, and
But I mean,
really, you need to know, am I taking any special bumps? Y'all got
that
anything
too.
like that planned for me? If not, then I know, I think to me, and again, I'm only speaking from the outside looking in. I'm not speaking from any kind of experience or anything, but just like from what I've heard and what I've, seen as far as like the matches that come off the best, they seem to be the matches that you just go out there and you got two good professional. Well, I take that
Yeah.
back. You got three good professionals in the ring
Right.
between the two competitors and the ref that know
Yeah.
how to tell that story, and it just
Yeah.
comes off. You know what
Because
I'm saying?
I've had a lot of the wrestlers tell me they's like, dude, you are really good. And the reason I say that is because you can have the Undertaker and Triple H in the ring wrestling. If you've got a bad ref that don't really know what they're doing or they're goofing up, whatever, it can all their hard work and dedication can be down the toilet quickly. And
Mhm.
they's like, dude, you're on it. You're like, you know what I'm saying? You're professional about everything. You stay out of the way. You're not there until need to be, and like I said, I mean, I've took many moves. I mean, I've even actually Stone Cold stunned a dude before or whatever in Somerset before. He kept pushing me around or whatever. I was like, man, don't put your hands on me. And I finally just stunned him. And, I thought that was pretty cool, whatever. But
Heck
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, but yeah, I was sitting there, I was like, don't put your hands on me. I was pulling the Earl Hebner. I grabbed my shirt and be like, I'm the official. Don't touch me. And he pushed me again. When he did, I just kicked him in the gut and just Stone Cold stunned him. And the good guy was like, pin him. So I rolled
Yeah,
over and pinned him up, dude counted or whatever, and he kicked out or whatever. But he's like, "What just happened?" All that stuff or whatever. But yeah,
that's great.
I had some good times in it, man. And wouldn't trade none of it for the world. Not even the cracked ribs. I wouldn't trade none of it for the world, man. Because I mean, I love and got the passion for it, man.
Well, I mean, you said you were, eventually want to look to getting back into it and everything. Do you
Yep.
have like any kind of a plan or anything? Like, can we expect to see you anytime soon in a wrestling ring or?
Hopefully, because I've done contacted the Kentucky Boxing and Wrestling or whatever, and all I've got to do is just pay I've got to get a sports physical to make sure I'm still quote unquote in shape to be in the ring, and from a doctor or whatever, get a sports physical and pay a $40 reinstatement fee, and I can get my license back and start doing what I love to do.
That's awesome, man.
oh,
Well, I hope everything works out, and I hope the physical goes good. I hope to see you back in the ring because we frequent independent shows now. To be honest with you, we've only been able to hit EWA at this point. That's Elite Wrestling Alliance in Danville. But we're looking to expand and everything because again, we're what is it, Uncle Slam? In May, we're hitting a year
Yeah.
anniversary with the show and
Mhm.
everything.
Congratulations.
So, thank you,
Congratulations.
sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
But so we did, and nothing against EWA. We love EWA. EW's home for us. But we do want to expand out and see some more talent across the state and everything.
There's a lot of good
Eventually,
talent.
yes, and eventually we want to start drifting into maybe Indiana, Ohio, and all the West Virginia, all the independents around there, because like I said, the independent scene is so big.
Yes.
It's the modern day territory system
Right.
is
I
all it
totally
is.
did. I totally did not realize there was that many independent companies in the state of Kentucky until I started working for several different companies. I mean, I had
Right.
a booking everything, calendar booking everything. Like somebody hit me up and be like, "Hey, are you free on this day?" And I'd have to go and look, be like, "Yeah." Then I'd have to put down I'm booked on this day, and then somebody else call. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah.
Well,
There's a
see, like
lot of companies around.
my take on independent wrestling back before I, started frequenting was I would see a poster up, what I'm saying, of a bunch of wrestlers that I had no idea who they were. But I my first instinct in my mind would be, oh look, somebody built a ring and they're putting on a show to make $1,500 real quick. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And like that's just what I thought. My mindset was if you weren't WCW, if you weren't all these big shows, then
Hmm.
you weren't, I didn't want to watch it. Man, I want to watch it more than I do WWE now.
Right.
I mean, it
Right.
really do.
They put on a better show, I believe.
They do. They really do. And like I said, it's just more interactive. I feel like they care about the fans more because they
Right.
understand that, you know, 26 fans, 260 fans, 2,600 fans.
Yeah.
They're
Experienced
there
it
to
all.
entertain every
Yeah.
one of those fans that's there,
Yeah. It's
And
regardless
it's
just
of the
like,
better
number.
yeah.
value too when you think about it, especially as expensive as wrestling is right now compared to the indies. Indies got them beat by a mile.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean,
It's
we've
it's
said
just
it
like
before.
when I was a heel manager or whatever for over in Corbin. I told dude because they wanted me to be a ref because their ref didn't show up. So their ref showed up and he's like, "Man, I'm sorry, I don't need you right now." I was like, "Damn, I didn't come all the way over here." He's like, "You can stay for the show or whatever." My dude was like, "He's my manager." It's like, dude, I can't be no heel. I'm gonna start laughing as soon as I start running my mouth to somebody or something. I'm gonna start laughing. I'm not gonna be able to do it. He said, "I got faith in you. You can do it." So I was like, "All right." Well, his music hit. We're standing behind the curtain, so I kind of like do what some of the actors do. I'm like, whew. And I threw the curtain open. I'm like, stand up, show my man respect. So we're supposed to be in from Death Valley, California, or whatever. So I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna try to. I gotta get on the mic. As part of the show, I said, I gotta get on the mic, run my mouth. I said, I don't know what to say. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay. I said, you all sit there and you shut up. I said, you sold your food stamps to see my client and stuff like that. And they start boo boo, and I was like, "You stupid rednecks!" I said, "Y'all call this the bluegrass state?" I said, "I've been in this town for 3 days and I haven't seen any bluegrass shit. You stupid rednecks!" Oh, dude, they went berserk. They cussed me out, and then I was like, "Okay, I'm on to something." So I'm like, "You know what? You can take this whole front row and put all y'all together, and you might have a set of teeth, stupid redneck." I really played my role, man, and they hated us so bad, but that was our job to make them hate us. And this dude kept hollering at me from behind or whatever, and I finally just turned around. And I said, "Sit there and enjoy your food stamp money, and watch my client whip this dude's ass." He's like, "I didn't sell my food stamps to see him." And he showed up. I said, "No, but you sold the food stamps to see the show, didn't you?"
So let me ask you this. Now that you said that and everything, did you find that like because of the fact that like you were talking about cracking and laughing and everything, but did you find that because everybody else was in on it and nobody was trying to crack you? You know what I'm saying? Because I know you see the stories where they try to break the Undertaker out in
Yeah,
front of
yeah,
everybody and stuff like that. Now, you know that normally they don't try to do that. You know what I'm saying? That was
right.
just a special occasion that
Yeah.
everybody was in on a rib and trying to get him to break in front of everybody. But like, did you find that it was easier to just not even worry about that, to stay in character? And
Yeah.
because they were taking you serious, and it wasn't like that you were catching them off guard, and it was just
Right.
that's weird, that's funny, and then you
Yeah.
started. I just didn't know if that made it a little easier to calm the nerves
Oh
once you got
yeah.
out there and stuff.
Oh yeah. Like I said, once I got out there, it was like, stand up, show him respect. I'm nervous as crap, but once I started running my mouth and seeing that it was making them mad, I was like, okay, I've got them hook, line, and sinker now. So I just kind of rode with it. I was like, okay, this calling them stupid rednecks makes them mad. This makes them mad. Talking about Kentucky Wildcats make them mad. So I'm just sitting there like, oh, the bluegrass. That's what made me come up. That it just literally coming out of my head. I'm like, so this is the bluegrass state of Kentucky, oh, the home of the big blue nation. I said, you stupid rednecks. I said, I've been in this town or state for 3 days and I haven't seen any bluegrass yet. And I mean, dude, it just come out. And I'm like, after we got the back, he said, dude, you killed it. I thought you couldn't do it. I was like, I didn't think I could, but that was fun. That was really fun. I like doing that.
See, that's one thing, like I said, there's no way I'm not even trying to entertain the fact that I can get in the ring and try to wrestle, and not at my age, but I would love to try to eventually, try to be a manager and stuff, just get involved like that somehow.
Oh, yeah.
I love it so much and everything.
Yeah, because you might know this one cat or whatever from Danville, too. His name's Mike Matherly.
I don't
You remember that name? Well, he works for TSW now, but he's starting like the NWO kind of faction or whatever over where he's at or whatever. But he's like a bad guy manager. He's like the booker of the show or whatever now, and he's really good. I mean, he's been a big wrestling fan just like me or whatever. He's always a big NWO fan and stuff like that and whatever. But he's finally doing the thing now or whatever, and he's like he's good. I mean, he knows how to be a bag. He knows how to be a heel.
That's
I mean, he really does. Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's just like I said. It's just finding something that makes them mad and just rolling with it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you can't go out there and script that stuff. I mean, it's got to just come natural. Like you turn around and look at somebody or something, man, and just something to come out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think being a bad guy would be that easy, but I think being a heel is easier than being a good guy. I really do. I think
you don't have the ropes on you to be good.
Right.
You can. It's easier. You can say whatever you want to, for the most part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
sometimes you don't say nothing. You can just stand there and people just boo you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's a good thing. I bet. Like if you mess up, like you can act like you did it on purpose and be like, "Well, y'all are messing me up. If y'all shut up, then I could get this out." Then
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bobby Blade is the premier example.
Yeah.
There's this man, Lone Wolf Bobby Blade, man.
Yeah.
That man cannot say a word
Nope.
at an EWA event.
Nope.
They won't
I've
let
been in
him
the ring
talk.
with him.
They will not let him talk because he manages Jordan Cage now.
Yes, Jordan Cage is a big high flyer. He's still doing all that high flying stuff. It's been a while since I've been in the ring with him.
He's grounded and stuff. And
everything. Oh, is he grounded now? Because he used to be one of these like Rey Mysterio. I mean, one of these off the top rope doing 20 flips in a row and landing on people. Yeah, he used to be one of them kind of guys.
I'm just saying, Bobby Blade, I love him to death. They can't.
Yeah.
They like he comes out, he gets that microphone in his hand, and at the end of it, everybody's booing. Yeah. You can't hear what he says, so he just stands there for 5 minutes and gets paid.
Yeah. Been there, done. I've been in the ring with him many times, and you're right. I mean, as soon as he gets the mic, it's saying "boo" every time he starts opening. I see Terrific Terry Allen, that dude I was telling you, that cowboy dude or whatever. He's from Cynthiana. He's the same way. As soon as he gets on the mic, they start booing him. He can't. It's kind of like what? They start doing that kind of stuff. They will not let him talk at all. But yeah, like I said, he's got a good little character. Like I said, it tripped me out or whatever. He's got that stick horse named Peter, and that it's a comedy thing. So he'll be sitting there. He's like, "Ref, they touched my Peter" and stuff like that. Since it's a PG show, I mean, he's not saying nothing bad. His horse's name is Peter. So I mean,
That's hilarious. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Conway, man, we appreciate you being here, man. It was great.
It was an honor, man.
It was good seeing you.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, of course, man. You have to come back and everything. We do every now and then we do like fantasy tournaments, man. We did one last week. You have to go check it out as a 2-part we decided the greatest world television champion of all time. We've done the Intercontinental champion and the tag team champions.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to check them out. You have to come join us for one of those and everything. Sometimes they're long
All right,
episodes, man. They're about 3 hours, 3.5 hours long, man. They can go for a minute.
Sounds
yeah,
good.
man.
Just let me know.
We appreciate you being here, man.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Not a problem, man. You'll have to come back. Guys, I believe referee has hit that 3 count, and I'm not talking about Conway either. Well, he just did it. Look, we're going to let him do it. Referee, hit that 3 count so we can ring the bell.
1, 2, 3. Ring the
Ring
bell.
the damn bell.